Tuimeltrein, hoofstuk 5. Jonah is al hoop wat hulle het. Hulle is op pad Ifafi toe waar Jonah bly. Jasper het 'n lijk vir die eerste keer van naby gesien. Hulle al drie was verskrik. Jasper besef hy sit met bagasie, 2 noobs. Hy sal vir hulle moet dink. Dit voel vir Jasper of Abby en Henry glo dat hy in beheer is. Hy is nie so seker nie. Hy is besig met fake it till you make it. Jonah is their only hope. They are on their way to Ifafi where Jonah lives. Jasper saw a body, a corpse, up close for the first time. All 3 of them were horrified. Jasper realizes he is sitting with baggage, 2 noobs. He will have to think for them. It feels to Jasper that Abby and Henry believe he is in control. He is not so sure. He's busy with fake it till you make it. Al is dit laat, is daar baie karre op die pad. Jasper onthou dat daar môre 'n fietsresies om die dam is, toe hy die fietsse agterop die karre sien. Die area, wat vroeër 'n natuurbewaringsgebied was, het nou 'n gewilde naweek uithangplek geword. Die ontwikkeling was sleg vir die dam en die omgewing. Although it is late, there are many cars on the road. Jasper remembers that there is a cycling race around the dam tomorrow when he sees the bicycles on the backs of cars. The area, which was previously a nature conservation area, has now become a popular weekend hangout spot. The development has been harmful to the dam and the environment. Onverwags is daar 'n polisiemotor langs hulle. Die polisie hou hulle stip dop. Daar kan moeilikheid kom, want Henry het nie 'n valhelm op nie. Die verkeer beweeg 'n entjie vorentoe en dan is die polisiekar skuins agter Jasper. Unexpectedly, there's a police car next to them. The police are watching them closely. There could be trouble because Henry is not wearing a helmet. The traffic moves forward a short distance, and then the police car is positioned diagonally behind Jasper. Jasper onthou hoe sy pa al genoem het dat meneer Vos in die 80er jare in 'n spesiale weermageenheid was. Koevoet, die spoorsnyerskorps. Miskien het Jakkels nog bomskok. Jasper remembers how his father once mentioned that meneer Vos had been in a special army unit during the 1980s. Koevoet, tracker corps or unit. Perhaps Jakkels is still suffering from shell shock, PTSD. Die polisiekar is weer reg langs hulle en die een polisieman vra Henry waar sy valhelm is. Jasper is baie senuweeagtig. Henry skuif sy geel kopdoek reg en blaas 'n swentjie vir die polisiemanne. Dit maak Jasper baie kwaad. The police car is next to them again, and one of the policemen asks Henry where his helmet is. Jasper is very nervous. Henry adjusts his yellow headscarf and blows a kiss to the policeman. This makes Jasper very angry. Gelukkig beweeg die verkeer in Jasper se baan en hy ry tot voor by die stopstraat. Jasper draai regs om van die polisiemanne weg te kom. Die polisiekar volg hom egter steeds met rasende sirenes. Fortunately, the traffic in Jasper's lane moves and he drives up to the stop street. Jasper turns right to get away from the policeman. However, the police car continues to follow him with its sirens blaring. Hy draai tot op die skouer van die pad en jaag weg. Hy voel soos Michael DeSanta van GTA 5. Hy jaag op die grondpad en by die volgende kruising is hy weer op die teerpad. Hy ry in die rigting van Jonah se huis. Die polisie sirenes is iewers, maar nie direk agter hom nie. He veers onto the shoulder of the road and speeds away. He feels like Michael DeSanta from GTA 5. He races down the dirt road and at the next intersection he is back on the tarred road, heading in the direction of Jonah's house. The police sirens are somewhere nearby, but not directly behind him. Jasper wens hy kon met sy pa praat en die waarheid vertel. Sy ouers werk baie en ken hom nie regtig goed nie. Hy wonder of hulle hom sou glo. Hulle gee vir hom geld, koop vir hom die nuutste speletjies en goeie rekenaars, maar hulle het nie 'n sterk verhouding nie. Jasper wishes he could talk to his father and tell him the truth. His parents work a lot and do not really know him very well. He wonders whether they would believe him. They give him money, buy him the latest games and good computers, but they do not have a close relationship. Voor Jonah se huis parkeer hy agter 'n paar bosse op die sypaadjie en klim oor die hek. Hy vryf Jonah se hond Buster agter die ore. Hy loer deur die dun gordyne en sien Jonah by sy rekenaar sit. Jasper klop aan die venster. Jonah maak die venster oop en hy lyk hoog, soos gewoonlik. Jonah praat stadig. Hy vertel vir Jasper dat die polisie na hom op soek is. Jonah se ouers is na 'n braai toe, maar sal later terugkom. Jonah laat hulle inkom en wys waar Jasper die fiets agter die motorhuis kan parkeer. Hy verduidelik hoe die buurtwag boodskappe uitstuur oor die skietery en die moordenaars. Dit is nou hulle, Jasper, Abby en Henry. In front of Jonah's house, he parks behind a few bushes on the sidewalk and climbs over the gate. He rubs Jonah's dog, Buster, behind the ears. He peeks through the thin curtains and sees Jonah sitting at his computer. Jasper knocks on the window. Jonah opens it and looks high as usual. Jonah speaks slowly and tells Jasper that the police are looking for him. Jonah's parents have gone to a braai but will return later. Jonah lets them in and shows Jasper where he can park the motorbike behind the garage. He explains how the neighborhood watch has been sending out messages about the shooting and the murderers. Jasper verduidelik wat gebeur het, dat hulle vals deur jakkals beskuldig word. Jonah se kamer ruik na dagga en Jasper kan sien dat Jonah dagga gerook het. Jasper wil Jonah se selfoon gebruik. Hulle wonder wie se ouers hulle moet bel. Wie sal luister? Jasper explains what happened and that they are being falsely accused by jackals. Jonah's room smells of marijuana, weed, and Jasper can tell that Jonah has been smoking it. Jasper wants to use Jonah's cell phone. They wonder whose parents they should call, who would actually listen to them. Op hierdie oomblik wens Jasper nou hy het beter pelle gehad. Manne met planne en karre en geld om hulle uit die land te help ontsnap. Of om hulle ten minste te help om 'n goeie prokureur te kry. Al prokureur wat hy en Jonah ken, is ou Bernie, die semi-afgetrede, semi-besope oom. Hy het hulle darmal gehelp, soos toe hulle die een aand die dominee se motor gesteel het en dagga gerook het en nie besef het hoe verkeerd dit was nie. Jasper now wishes he had better friends, men with plans and cars and money to help them escape the country, or at least to help them get a good lawyer. The only lawyer he and Jonah know is old Bernie, the semi-retired, semi-drunk uncle, old guy. At least he has helped them before, like the time that they stole the minister's car one evening while they were under the influence of weed and did not realize how wrong it was. Jonah vra of Abby Jasper se meisie is. Hulle sê albei nee. Jasper vra of hulle die aand by Jonah kan slaap. Hy gaan 'n stemnota vir sy ouers op Jonah se foon los. Jonah moet dit môreoggend stuur sodra hulle weg is. Hulle sal op Jonah se mat moet slaap. Jonah lyk nie baie lus vir so baie mense in sy persoonlike ruimte nie. Jonah asks if Abby is Jasper's girlfriend and they both say no. Jasper asks if they can sleep at Jonah's place that night. He's going to leave a voice note for his parents on Jonah's phone. Jonah must send it the next morning once they are gone. They will have to sleep on Jonah's floor on the carpet. Jonah does not seem very happy about having all these people in his personal space. Henry sê dat ou Koos se grot 'n beter slaapplek sou wees as Jonah se deurmekaar kamer. Jonah noem dan dat hy 'n ou Koos op laerskool geken het. Die man het vir hom geskiedenis gegee. Hy het altyd alkohol in sy laai gehad en hy het skelm gedrink. Eendag het hy net verdwyn. Hulle het sy kar se wrak agter Saartjie se nek gekry met leë drankbottels daarin. Hy het seker onder die invloed bestuur en toe vir die polisie gevlug. Henry says that old Koos's cave would have made a better sleeping place than Jonah's messy room. Jonah mentions that he knew an ou Koos in primary school. The man taught him history. He always had alcohol in his drawer and secretly drank. One day he disappeared. They found his wrecked car behind Saartjie's neck with empty liquor bottles inside. He probably drove under the influence and fled from the police. Jasper vra vir Jonah of hy al in 'n dreingat vasgesit het. Jonah is sommer ontsteld oor die persoonlike vraag. Is dit moontlik dat Jonah en Koos mekaar eens op 'n tyd geken het? Jasper asks Jonah whether he has ever been stuck in a sinkhole. Jonah is upset by the personal question. Is it possible that Jonah and Koos once knew each other? Jasper gaan sit op die bed en praat in die foon se luidspreker. Hy sê, ek en Abby en Henry het niks met die moord te doen gehad nie. Ons was by Abby se huis om aan 'n skoolopdrag te werk. Ons wou roomys koop en het gesien hoe meneer Vos vir Izzy skiet. Toe hy ons sien, toe skiet hy op ons ook. Toe hardloop ons weg. Hy vertel vir die eerste ou wat daar aankom, ons het dit gedoen. Ek het julle bike, moenie worry nie, hy's fine. Ons weet die cops gaan die oproep trace. Ons weet nie wat om te doen nie. Gaan polisie toe met die voice note, asseblief, of 'n prokureur. Ons sal weer probeer bel. Okay, goodbye. Glo my asseblief. Jasper sits on the bed and speaks into the phone's speaker. Me, Abby and Henry had nothing to do with the murder. We were at Abby's house working on a school project. We wanted to buy ice cream and saw meneer Vos shoot Izzy. When he saw us, he shot at us too. We then ran away. He tells the first person who arrives that we did it. I have your bike. Don't worry, it's fine. We know the cops are going to trace the call. We don't know what to do. Please go to the police with a voice note or a lawyer. We will try to call again. Okay, goodbye. Please believe me. Abby wonder wie gaan hulle glo. Abby wonders who people are going to believe. Jasper, 'n seun wat gereeld in die moeilikheid is en al probleme met die polisie gehad het. Hy speel baie gewelddadige videospeletjies en sy brein is beïnvloed deur voortdurende blootstelling aan geweld, misdaad en diefstal. Jasper, a boy who often gets into trouble and has had problems with the police before, he spends a lot of time playing violent video games and his mind has been influenced by constant exposure to violence, crime and theft. Of Abby, 'n meisie wat 'n sielkundige moet sien om haar onderdrukte woede oor haar pa uit te sorteer. Abby, a girl who is seeing a psychologist to sort out her suppressed anger towards her father. Of Henry, 'n gay seun voorheen benadeel wat op skool geboelie word. Henry, a gay boy previously disadvantaged who is being bullied at school. Henry stem, wie gaan hulle glo? 3 graad 11 leerders wat hard werk vir goeie punte om eendag universiteit toe te kan gaan om in die kriminele land 'n werk te kan kry. Hulle is onder baie druk. Abby dink mense gaan dink hulle het genoeg rede om uit te hak en dat hulle saam 'n ineenstorting beleef het en 'n onskuldige man geskiet het. Henry agrees. Who is going to believe them? 3 grade 11 learners who work hard for good marks so that they can go to university to one day find work in this crime-ridden country. They are under a lot of pressure. Abby thinks people will assume they've had enough reasons to snap, that they've suffered a breakdown together and ended up shooting an innocent man. Die selfoon in Jasper se hand bewe soos die boodskappe inkom. Jonah speel voort op sy rekenaar. Daar is boodskappe van die Magaliesberg se buurtwag. Die polisie soek die 3 tieners wat 'n Romeisman doodgeskiet het. Enige iemand met inligting moet meneer Vos dadelik skakel. Die tieners moenie genader word nie, want hulle kan gevaarlik wees. The cell phone in Jasper's hand shakes as the messages come in. Jonah keeps playing on his computer and hardly notices Jasper opening the messages. There are messages from the Magaliesberg Neighborhood Watch. The police are looking for the 3 teenagers who shot an ice cream seller dead. Anyone with information must contact Meneer Vos immediately. The teenagers must not be approached because they might be dangerous. Meneer Vos bied 'n beloning van R5000 elk vir hul inhegtenisname. Die 3 se foto's is ook aangeheg. Meneer Vos offers a reward of R5000 each for their arrests. Photos of the 3 are also attached. Jonah se oë blink skielik. Jasper besef hulle het ander probleme. Jonah is 'n myner se seun en R15000 is vir hom soos om die lotto te wen. Jonah is skielik nugter en baie behulpsaam. Hy sê hulle moet by hom oorslaap en sommer nog 'n dag of 2. Jonah's eyes light up and Jasper realizes that they have other problems. Jonah is a miner's son and R15,000 is like winning the lottery to him. Jonah suddenly becomes helpful and sober-minded. He offers that they might stay with him the night and also for another day or 2. Jasper is briesend. Hy besef Jonah wil hulle inruil vir R15,000. Jasper is furious. Jasper does not know how he could have thought that Jonah was his friend. Jonah wants to hand him over for R15,000. Jonah en Jasper wil mekaar slaan en Abby kan nie glo dat goeie vriende mekaar wil slaan nie. Maar Jasper besef dat Jonah nie sy vriend is nie. Jonah trek sy vuiste terug en slaan na Jasper wat gelukkig betyds gekoes het. Jonah and Jasper want to hit each other. Abby cannot believe that good friends want to fight. But Jasper realizes that Jonah is not his friend. Jonah pulls back his fist and swings at Jasper, who luckily ducks in time. Jasper slaan na Jonah en sy vuis klap teen Jonah se kakebeen en Jonah val agteroor op sy bed neer. Jasper's fist smacks against Jonah's jaw and Jonah falls backward onto his bed.
Okay guys, I hope that this helped you. Click below here where I landed to check out the playlist. Goodbye.